And since you're up early this morning, more than likely you're a coffee drinker. We're in search of the best place in Houston to get that Java fix. We're live outside the one that boasts the best beans. That's in our next hour.
Well, before you can have a great cup of coffee, you've got to start with the world's greatest coffee beans. Coming up, we'll take you through the process. Stick around, that's coming up next.
If you're like me, your early mornings start with a big, strong cup of coffee.
And if you're like Tom, you drink it out of a big Houston cup.
It's true, I do.
Yeah, but we sent Ruben Dominguez out in search of the best Java in the city. He's live at a place that boasts the best beans. JAVA Pura, right, Ruben, in Southwest Houston?
You are correct, guys. We're right here just off of Gulfton, very near the city of Bel Air. We're at the warehouse for JAVA Pura, and I can bet you money I'm having a much better cup of coffee than you are right now. Now, people don't really think, where does it come from when you're having a really great cup of coffee? This is Fielding Koch. He's part owner of JAVA Pura here. Take us through the process. A lot of folks never even see this. This is what it looks like when you get it.
Yeah, Ruben, our bags are delivered here to our warehouse, and this is a bag of Mexican organic. They come in, they're about 152 pounds per each bag.
Okay.
And the bags store coffee nicely for up to a year or so. We brew it roast it as quickly as possible. You can see the type of bags that we have here. This is one with our logo on it.
So how many different regions?
22 different countries is where our coffees come from. And you can store them like this, or we use bins.
Look at that.
This is an Americana from Ethiopia.
Okay.
And what you look for here, Ruben, is uniformity of bean size. You're looking at color.
So there's a visual element.
Absolutely, and especially if you know exactly how this was processed, you're looking for different types of colors in this.
So can I grab some?
Absolutely.
What do I want to do?
What you want to do is hydrate it a little bit, take a smell.
Wow.
And you should really pick up some nice notes of hay.
You can indeed.
Earth. And in very, very good specialty coffees, you'll pick up some nice fruit notes, even from the green bean.
Very aromatic. That is fantastic. Okay, so now we're ready. Once you get it in, you evaluate it. The next step is?
Next step is roasting.
And you've got a guy that can absolutely, probably one of the best in the business.
One of the best, 30 years master roaster.
Okay, so we're going to meet Ken Palmer, master roaster, in just a couple of minutes coming up here in our next hour. Stick around with us. We're going to take you through the process. You don't want to miss this, because I'm going to have a lot more coffee by then. To go from these beautiful premium beans to a fantastic roasted coffee, you need a master roaster like Ken Palmer. Coming up, we're going to show you how he makes the magic happen. Stick around.
Morning. Many of us are reaching for a big cup of coffee just to get our day started. But where can you get the best cup of Java in the city of Houston? Well, Ruben Dominguez knows. He's live at JAVA Pura in Southwest Houston. Now, what makes this place the best, Ruben?
Well, it's easy to answer that question for you, Jose. The folks here at JAVA Pura source only the best coffee in the world. And it is a specialty coffee, it is a gourmet coffee, and these guys really know what they're doing. But before you can have this just beautifully colored, perfectly roasted bean, you need a man that knows what he's doing. That guy is master roaster Ken Palmer. Ken, take us through the process here. We just put this batch in a few minutes ago.
Right.
How long does it take before you can drop the coffee before it's roasted?
14 to 17 minutes, depending on the roast itself. We drop it in at 380, and usually it drops out an average of 405 to 415.
And what is this little handle called? Because I've noticed you keep pulling it out and looking through the process.
This is called a strier.
Okay.
And that tells me and helps me gauge when the coffee is ready to dump.
Okay.
It's finished. You'll see now the coffee is turning color now. The moisture's gone out of it, and it's starting to roast the coffee.
And that was green when we put it in.
Right. And now it's starting to turn a darker color. It's caramelizing the sugars and the protein.
So you're looking at it, and you're also listening.
Oh, yeah.
And what are you listening for?
It'll crack like popcorn.
Okay.
And expands and releases energy from the inside. So the first crack, we start watching it really closely, and into the second crack sometimes depends on the coffee itself. We roast different degrees.
All right, guys, so we're taking you through the process here. We're at JAVA Pura, which is just off of Gulfton near the city of Bel Air. And again, these guys really know what they're doing. In our next hour, we're going to do what's called a cupping. And I get to drink more coffee, and you get to learn a lot more about what happens. Live at JAVA Pura, Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News. We're live in Southwest Houston at JAVA Pura, and coming up, we're in the cupping room, and we're going to show you how the best coffee beans in the world are evaluated. Stick around.
Is big business all around the world, and it's bigger than you might realize right here in the Houston area.
A lot is shipped in and out of the port. A lot is ground and sold here as well, as Ruben Dominguez is showing us this morning live in Southwest Houston. And Ruben, I bet you've had a cup or three of Joe this morning.
You know me all too well, Melissa. I have had a couple of cups. But a great cup of coffee doesn't just happen. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know how to roast it. You've got to know how to buy it. We are in the cupping room here at JAVA Pura, just off of Gulfston in the Bel Air area. And Richard Colt, one of the co-owners, is with me. Richard, what is happening in this room? Take us through the process here.
Sure, Ruben. What we're doing is a cupping, as you mentioned, and it's our way, JAVA Pura's way of systematically evaluating coffees before we end up buying in quantity.
Okay, and we've got Master Roaster Ken Palmer here. What is he doing sniffing these coffees?
But what he's doing is getting an idea of the dry aroma. We've ground the coffee. It is in these cups that we will, we'll be putting hot water in those. And he's evaluating the smell. He's looking really just if there's something unusual, something funky in it.
Okay. Now what's he doing here? Because this has formed like a crust.
Well, so now the water's been there. It's been in there 4 minutes, and he's about to break the cap. And he gets his nose right down on top of it, and he is, again, looking for aroma. Okay. This is the wet aroma. And he got his nose right on top of it, because when you break what is called that cap, that aroma really explodes out. And it's sort of a one-time thing.
And we need to mention here, Master Roaster Ken Palmer has been doing this for over 30 years, so this is a highly skilled sense of smell and taste that he has.
Absolutely. He's incredible, kind of our secret weapon here.
Okay, now the big slurp, why is that necessary?
So what he's doing now is actually cupping or tasting the coffee, and he is atomizing, basically by slurping, he's atomizing the coffee into his mouth, exposing it to all the taste buds, all the taste buds in his mouth. Because he is, again, trying to evaluate sweetness, sourness, if that happens to be a case.
So you can discover an imperfection at this stage.
Exactly. You're kind of looking for that through the whole process, from dry aroma, wet aroma, through this to the actual cupping of the coffee.
Now cupping is something that you all do on a regular basis, because again, these are specialty coffees. Your many different regions are coming in here, so you are constantly looking for the best possible coffee.
Well, yeah, definitely our goal, and in doing that, you have to continually do it.
Okay.
It's like wine.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to look at where the process starts with some of these samples when they come in, and you're not going to want to miss this coming up in our next hour. It's a fascinating element to this business. Live in Southwest Houston, Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News. JAVA Pura in Southwest Houston imports and roasts some of the greatest coffees in the world. Smoky, very good. Fox 26 Morning News Extra starts right now. We're near the intersection of Gulfston and Chimney Rock. I want you to open your door and just kind of stick your nose outside, because we're at JAVA Pura in their warehouse, and this is where Master Roaster Ken Palmer has been taking us through a little coffee 101 and how you get just a perfect gourmet coffee. It all starts with these little sample bags. Tell us what that is.
The producers send me these 300-gram sample bags, and this is where I test the coffee to see if we're going to buy this coffee.
All right, and now this is a small roaster. It'll only do a very small batch.
A sample roaster, and only does 300 grams per barrel. We put it in. It was built in 1930.
And Ken was telling me this little guy right here is worth like $8,000. This is, again, from the 1930s. This is amazing, and the technology hasn't changed that much.
Not much, no. Just a few bells and whistles, but other than that, it's still the same basic heat, coffee, and the roasting technique.
And the product, and you can see you can feel the heat coming off of it right there. How many degrees is that about in there, Ken?
It's running about 380 right now, and I put the green coffee in, and it drops a little bit, and then it comes back up, and then I dump it about 400.
Okay, so how long will this roast take? These 300 grams take about how long?
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
I usually get into first crack about 8-9 minutes, and then the final roast will be about 12 and a half minutes.
Okay.
Depending.
Interesting stuff. And I just want to let everybody know, coming up almost at the end of our show, you want to be with us right around 9:45, 9:50, because we're going to show you what the finished product is, what this specialty coffee looks like when they bag it up and get ready to send it to market. And I'm going to drink some more. JAVA Pura roast some of the best coffee in the world. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can get your hands on some of this lovely, lovely coffee. That's coming up next.
chances are you've already had a few cups of coffee by now, and believe me, so is Ruben. He's standing by at JAVA Pura in Southwest Houston with a look at the inner workings of the coffee house. We've learned a lot so far. Ruben, what you got for us now?
Hey, Melissa, well, we're getting ready to see the end product, and we're right off of Gulfton near Chimney Rock, and you've probably driven by here several times and had no idea what's happening in this warehouse, but this is where JAVA Pura roasts some of the greatest specialty coffee that I've ever had. I mean, and I've had several cups. This is Richard Colt. He's one of the co-owners with us. All right, so we've seen it roasting. We saw the beans coming out of that roaster just a little while ago, and how you just release it out there, and your master roaster, Ken Palmer, took us through all of it, but this is the finished product.
Sure.
So talk about how many different blends we have here and what kind of coffees these are.
Well, we've got these packaged here today, and we are going actually into Central Market. We're making a delivery, our first delivery to Central Market, 11 o'clock this morning.
So that's a big deal. This is the first time the consumer will be able to taste your coffee.
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
Well, we've been online, but yes, this is a place they can go to get it. And,
okay, and you said we have 4 different kinds here. What do we have?
We have a Costa Rican from the Terrazoo region called Don Teofilo.
Right.
We have a Panama Volcan from, and we call that Los Cantares.
Okay.
We also have a French roast, which is just a blend of Central and South America blend. And then we got a really incredible coffee from Sumatra. We call it Iskandar.
Wow.
Great coffees.
Well,
so
these
are nice sort of spread.
You know, and I've been lucky enough to sample some of these. And if you're a coffee lover, if you're a coffee drinker, or you just want to taste probably what could be the best cup of coffee you've ever had, I would go on down to Central Market today. Now, 11:30?
We are delivering 11, so lunchtime, you should be able to pick it up.
There you go. You're going to have a sandwich and a lovely cup of coffee right after that. All right, guys, that does it for us. Again, at JAVA Pura here in Southwest Houston, roasting some incredible coffee. Do yourself a favor, check it out. You can get it at Central Market. Live in Southwest Houston, Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News.